Welcome back. Today we are going to discuss an AP Biology question. The link to this question has been given in the description of the video. All the resource links are included in the video description as well. The question is, antidiuretic hormone or ADH is important in maintaining homeostasis in mammals. ADH is released from the hypothalamus in response to high tissue osmolarity. In response to ADH, the collecting duct and distal tubule in the kidney become more permeable to water, which increases water reabsorption into the capillaries. The amount of hormone released is controlled by a negative feedback loop. Based on the model presented, which of the following statements expresses the proper relationship between osmolarity, ADH release and urine production? 4 answer choices are given here. I will suggest you to pause the video and try to figure out the problem by yourself. Hope by now you already have figured this out. Let us just now discuss it together. So the answer is hidden in the question itself. They have presented a model, and from that we should be able to answer this question. Now let me just quickly read the answer choices. A. As tissue osmolarity rises, more ADH is released, causing less water to be excreted as urine. B. As tissue osmolarity rises, less ADH is released, causing less water to be excreted as urine. C. As tissue osmolarity rises, more ADH is released, causing more water to be excreted as urine. D. As tissue osmolarity rises, less ADH is released, causing more water to be excreted as urine. So if you see the pattern, you will see one thing is constant, that is the tissue osmolarity rises in each of the answer choices. So they want to know what happens when the tissue osmolarity rises. And then there are different combinations in the answer choices. More ADH is released, less water in the urine, or less ADH is released, less water in the urine. More ADH is released, more water in the urine. Less ADH is released and more water in the urine. So let us just understand the model in a little bit more detail. So antidiuretic hormone, what is that? It's a 9-amino acid peptide hormone. It is made by the neurons found in an area at the base of the brain known as the hypothalamus. So we will read some of the important facts related to the model, and this is a figure which actually corresponds to whatever we are saying here. So this gives the overall picture of the ADH action through the kidneys. So this 9-amino acid peptide hormone is found in the neurons in the hypothalamus. These neurons express osmoreceptors that are highly responsive to blood osmolarity. Now, since osmolarity is involved, so the receptors are named as osmoreceptors, which are expressed in the neurons of the hypothalamus. Now, what is osmolarity in general? It is the concentration of a solution expressed as the total number of solute particles per liter. So, here we are talking about blood osmolarity, so we are talking about the solute and the solvent or the water concentration in the blood. Now these osmoreceptors respond to changes as little as 2 milliosmoles per liter, so that much sensitive they are. What happens when blood osmolarity increases? Now what do we mean by blood osmolarity increases? That means the solute concentration in the blood goes up. So you know the blood is composed of blood cells and plasma. The plasma is mainly composed of water, and in the water we have different proteins and also dissolved electrolytes like sodium ion, potassium ion, calcium ion, dissolved gases like oxygen gas, carbon dioxide gas. Then we have organic nutrients like glucose, vitamins, metabolic waste, etc. So the solute concentration of the blood when increases, that means the water level in the blood goes down. The hypothalamus detects that, okay? And what happens? Nerve cells transport the hormone down their axons to the pituitary gland. So osmoreceptors in the hypothalamus detect that, oh, there is more solute and less water in the blood. We should release this ADH. The ADH is transported through the axon to the pituitary gland. Now, the pituitary is having one anterior and one posterior lobe. The eye facing is the anterior lobe, and the posterior lobe is at the back. Actually, it comes to the posterior pituitary, okay, and there the hormone is released into the bloodstream. They're released into the bloodstream and just spreads throughout the body. Now, one of the main target is kidney. So it is transported to the kidneys. Why? Because to save more water. How it does that? It induces expression of water transport proteins in the specific part of the kidney, which is late distal tubule and collecting duct of the kidney. So if you know the kidney structure, I am not going into the details. In the late distal tubule and collecting duct, by the expression of those water transport proteins, it helps the kidney to save water. How? Because they reabsorb water. What do we mean by reabsorption? That means it allows water in the urine to be taken back into the kidney. Since there is a shortage of water in the blood, so we need to save water, and kidney is saving that by expressing the water transport proteins in the specific part of the kidney. How? They are taking the water from the urine and absorbing it back to the kidney. Now when the kidney saves water, so there will be less water excreted in the urine, of course, because the water from the urine has been taken back into the kidney, so there will be less water in the urine. The extra water that has been taken back by the kidney from the urine will return the osmolarity to baseline. That means the water level will again return to normal in the blood. Now the negative feedback loop is nothing but in case the blood water level goes up than normal, then the exact opposite thing will happen. The hypothalamus will stop. It will stop making the ADH, and the ADH will not be released from the pituitary to the bloodstream, and the kidney will then try to get the water into the urine because it does not need the water. It wants to get rid of the water, and in that case we will have more water in the urine. So that is the negative feedback loop. So let us just go to the answer choices. So the first answer choice says, so we came to know two things, right? So we have observed that if the osmolarity rises, what happens? We have observed that ADH is released. It is released by the pituitary, and then what happens? Then the kidney reabsorbs water, so less water is available in the urine. So A, as tissue osmolarity rises, more ADH is released, yes, causing less water to be excreted as urine. This is very much true. Now, this is the first answer choice. Let me get a tick over here and let me read the other and see what happens. Let me choose red. As tissue osmolarity rises, less ADH is released. So the first thing is wrong. So we will not go to the second part because the ADH is more ADH is released. So we can just cancel this. As tissue osmolarity rises, more ADH is released. Yes, the first part is true, causing more water to be excreted as urine. The second part is wrong because if more ADH is released, the kidney is saving water. It is taking the water from the urine back to the kidney. So this is wrong. The last one, as tissue osmolarity rises, less ADH is released. This is the first thing is wrong. We will not go into the second one. The ADH release is high. So we can just cancel or disregard these three answer choices. So the correct answer is A, as tissue osmolarity rises, more ADH is released, causing less water to be excreted as urine. Thank you all for watching my video. Please hit the like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel Sarkar Research and Education. Here I post videos on test prep math question from PSAT, SAT and SAT math. I post AP chemistry and AP biology question as well as dashboard analysis. See you all in my next video then. Iti mulțumesc! Happy learning!